Hi everyone and welcome back. If you haven't had a chance to tune into our previous lessons, I strongly suggest that you go back and do so. If this is your first time tuning in, hi, my name is Lauren. I work for a group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania called Compass Mark. We provide a program to schools in our area called Leaders of Future Generations. And since we are all stuck at home for the time being, we thought that we would bring our lessons to you at home. I hope you enjoy these, and also feel free to share these with anyone that you think would also enjoy them. So in our recent lessons, we have been discussing conflict. We've gone through all aspects of it. We talked about what it is, what makes it worse, okay, so like what escalates a conflict, and then we also talked about how to de-escalate it and bring it back down. And then in our most recent lesson, we discussed how to actually solve a conflict. But today we're going to talk about something different. Today we're discussing a very important and unfortunately a common occurrence that happens in our society, and that is bullying. But first, let's take a look at our quote. Our quote today is actually unknown, but I liked it. And this quote says, "The best apology is changed behavior." Okay, so we'll discuss that a little bit later. Bullying. Now, bullying is a term that we hear all the time. Okay, it's become way more understood and recognized over the last couple of decades, and that's a good thing, but it also has some negative consequences to it as well. So we're going to talk through everything. Although it's a term that we maybe hear a lot, it is also a term that a lot of people don't understand, or they might not know how to actually recognize it. So today we're going to be going through ways to recognize bullying. Unfortunately, because we use the word so much, it tends to be used in situations when there's actually no bullying happening. Sometimes we see two kids arguing or fighting and we immediately assume that it's a bullying situation. And then we might get someone in trouble for bullying when they actually weren't. Okay, but also sometimes we might shy away from a situation by saying, oh, they're just kids, or that's nothing to worry about, when actually someone is the target of a bully situation and they are being bullied. So it's really important for everyone, adults and kids, to understand what the definition is and how to recognize it. So today I'm going to take you through the definition, as well as a few questions that you can ask yourself when you see or hear a situation, so that you can better understand, is this bullying or not? So we define bullying as repeated, aggressive, or violent behavior intended to hurt someone else. So there's two really important takeaways from that definition. And the one is that it's repeated, and the next is that it's intentional. So there are times in life when we hurt the feelings of others and mess up and say something that we shouldn't. I mean, we're human, we make mistakes. It would be remarkable to go through life without ever hurting someone else's feelings. The trick is that you have to learn from them, apologize, and change your behavior. But if you know that you're hurting someone else and you continue to do it anyway, repeating your aggressive or hurtful behavior to them in spite of their feelings, then you might be bullying them. The second part of the definition is about intention. So the purpose behind what you're doing. If you're doing it just to hurt someone, then you might need to reconsider maybe this is bullying. I usually like to ask my students how many of them enjoy pranking their friends. And a lot of hands usually go up. Now, pranking is an example of a behavior that is not exactly nice. Okay, I would not say that that's a nice thing to do with your friends. But if there's an even understanding about what's going on, they're both doing it for fun, and both people are enjoying it, no one is getting hurt, then it's not bullying, even though it's mean behavior. However, let's say that you know your next prank is going to really hurt your friend. It's going to touch on an area that they're in their life that they're really sensitive about. And you know that it's probably going to upset them or even embarrass them, and you do it anyway, knowing full well that they're going to be hurt by it. Could that be bullying? Yes. So here's another example. Let's say you and your class are walking down the hall, and one of your classmates trips and drops all of their stuff. Everyone starts to laugh. Are you all bullying that classmate? No. It's not nice to laugh at someone for falling, and we should all apologize for laughing at that person, but we weren't bullying the classmate. Now let's say one of your classmates found it hilarious and continues to imitate that classmate who fell all day, knowing very well that this is hurting their feelings and making them feel very embarrassed. Could that now be bullying? Yes, because now their intention, their reason behind doing it is specifically to hurt the person, and they keep doing it anyway. Some bullying situations can be really obvious, but some others are not so clear. So we have to ask ourselves 4 questions so that we can better understand whether it is bullying or not. And the first question is it fair? So what does fair mean? Fair means to be equal or even. Both people have the same opportunity for happiness and peace. We all have to come to school. We can't get away from that. So we deserve to come to a place where we aren't made to feel fearful, embarrassed, or even sad. When someone takes that away from us, they make it unfair. The next question is it one-sided? One-sided means that one person is getting something out of it that the other person is not. So if one person thinks it's funny and in good fun and the other person is actually getting hurt, then there's an imbalance and it's one-sided. These are usually the situations when we hear the other person saying something like, he knows I'm just joking. Well, do they really know that? And regardless of them knowing that it's a joke, if it's hurting them, then it might be a bullying situation. The third question we ask is someone using power? In any bullying situation, there is an imbalance of power. Someone is using something over the other person. A very common use of power is the power of friendship or popularity. Using the threat of turning friends against someone else, or being a more popular person and therefore using the crowd against the victim. We see a lot of this especially happening with online bullying in social situations or social media. Okay, being able to turn followers against somebody as a form of power. Other forms of power could include size, strength, age, height, intelligence, or even wealth. For example, there's a girl at school who has a new electronic game and she shows it off to everyone. But she only shows it off to the people that she wants to, or that she wants to let play with it. What kind of power is she using? Her owning the game is the power that she has over the other kids. Or let's say there's a kid who won't let you play on the kickball team because you're not in his grade. The power that he's using is his age or grade. If someone's using power over someone else, this could be a bullying situation. And finally, the most obvious question that you could ask, how does it feel? If someone is getting hurt repeatedly, they're feeling sad, scared, embarrassed, they might be being bullied. It's also important to note that there are various types of bullying. When we first think of bullying, many of us tend to focus on physical bullying, like hitting, kicking, pushing. But over the past decade or so, the addition of social media, bullying has become an entirely different problem. Emotional or psychological bullying plays a very large role in bullying. And it's less about getting hurt physically and much more about having your feelings hurt or feeling left out or rejected by others. Another form of bullying is called cyberbullying, which is any bullying that happens electronically, whether it be through texting, social media, email, or any other type of electronic system. This is a huge problem because the bullying goes unnoticed a lot of the time. If someone at school gets hurt physically, they get punched in the eye, okay? And they come to school and they have that black eye, it's noticeable, right? We would all notice that, and the teachers would notice that, and they would ask that kid what happened, and they would get to the bottom of it. But if someone comes to school and they're filled with fear or feelings of being rejected or left out, we don't always notice. That's why it's really important for us as bystanders who witness the bullying to do something about it. So let's explore some examples, and I want you to try to decide for yourself whether or not you think this situation is bullying. And to remind you, bullying is a repeated aggressive behavior intended to hurt somebody else. And we ask ourselves the questions, is this fair? Is it one-sided? Is someone using power? And how do they feel? So here's the first example. Mindy told the teacher that Johnny didn't finish his math homework. Bullying? The correct answer would be no, this is not bullying. Sounds like tattling, okay? It sounds like a conflict, not a bullying situation. Number 2. Every time Jessica walks by Anne and her friends, they make comments about how she dresses. Is this bullying? I would say yes. The clue here is that it happens every time. If they do it one time, this is mean behavior, it should be reprimanded and they should apologize for it. But we don't think that it's a bullying situation. It's not a targeted attack on someone else, except now we know that it happens every time. Number 3. Someone started a rumor about Jackson online, and every time he checks his Instagram account, he is flooded with more and more insulting comments. Is this bullying? I would say yes. Someone started a rumor and they continue to happen. So these mean, these rude comments continue to happen over and over again. It seems like a targeted attack that is repeated. Number 4. Ethan threatens Julian every day after science class that he is going to beat him up after school. Is this bullying? I would say yes. Threatening is an example of something that sometimes kids don't think is bullying because it's just a threat, saying that something could happen, not that they actually did it. But threatening causes a lot of fear in other people. So from this example, it sounds like Ethan is causing Julian to feel very fearful that after school one day he's going to be beaten up by him. So yes, this is bullying, and it happens over and over again. Number 5. Richard and his brother are fighting over the TV remote. Richard calls his brother a jerk. Is this bullying? I would say no. This sounds like a conflict between siblings. So this is a fight, and as we learned in our previous lessons, they should use one of our skills to be able to solve it with each other, but this would not be a bullying situation. So talking about bullying behaviors, like I said, at first kids and people tend to think about more physical stuff like hitting, hurting, kicking, pushing, shoving, anything like that. And yes, that is bullying. But bullying can happen in a lot of different ways too. And there are a few that I tend to hear kids saying is not bullying. And like I already talked about, threatening. Another one would be excluding someone or leaving them out of a group. Now, you don't have to be friends with everyone, as we know, okay? That's not how the world works, and that's okay. But everyone does deserve to come to school with the same expectation, the same fair level of being able to find happiness, find peace, get their schoolwork done, and get home. If you take that away from someone and you make their school time feel sad or upsetting or like they're rejected and nobody wants to be around them with the intention to hurt them, then that could be bullying. So if you leave someone out of a group or you don't let them sit at your table at lunch or don't let them, play the sports game that they want to play with you for the purpose of making them feel embarrassed or sad, then you're bullying them. Even if you think it's something as harmful as excluding someone else. Are rumors bullying? Rumors are definitely bullying. You're making up a lie about someone else and spreading it around school. Any kind of behavior can come back to the definition. Does it happen more than once? And what is your intention behind it? If the intention behind what you're doing or what this person is doing is to hurt someone, to make them feel afraid or make them feel embarrassed or sad, then it's bullying. Okay, so that's a really important distinction. If you and your friends are goofing off and you wrestle each other to the ground and you're both having the same level of fun out of it, not bullying. Okay, there is a difference. And so we have to really understand what that definition is so that we don't go around saying this word a lot as if it's happening to people when it's not. And we also don't want to ignore it happening to someone because we don't really understand what it is. As a leader, being able to recognize bullying is very important. You're in a role with your peers where you're a role model. If you notice bullying and then do something about it, others will follow your lead. They have you have their respect. One of the biggest reasons bullying can get out of hand so quickly is from our peers and our peers' support of it. If our peers encourage the bullying behavior, it will get worse. If our peers can reject the bullying behavior, refuse it, and shut it down, then you could be the start of something really amazing where you could start to end bullying. When others follow along and give power or attention to the bully, that's when things get really out of control and that bully continues their behavior because no one's telling them that it's wrong. So as a leader, you can set an example against it. You can start to fix the problem because others will follow your lead. So let's take a look back at that quote again. Our quote today, unknown. The best apology is changed behavior. So I like this a lot because I think it plays into our idea that bullying is repeated. If you hurt someone's feelings and you change your behavior and you don't do it again, okay, so if Jessica's friends stopped talking about the way she dressed or Ethan stopped threatening to beat up Julian after school, then maybe they're not bullying. Maybe they did something wrong in a moment and they apologized and they changed their behavior. The best apology is changed behavior. If you continue to do it anyway, you repeat it, then you are disregarding that person's feelings and you might be bullying them because now your intention is to do it on purpose, to hurt them. Okay, so for our discussion questions for today, number 1, describe a time when you witnessed a bullying situation. This could be something in person or it could be something online, or if you really can't think of anything, you've never seen anyone get bullied before, that's great. But maybe think about a movie or some kind of situation that you've seen on TV. Number 2, how did you know that it was definitely bullying? And number 3, what did you do about it? Okay, so today for your at-home activity, I want you to get out your coloring supplies and any kind of creative art supplies that you have, and I want you to create an anti-bullying poster. And I want you to outline the 4 questions that tell us if it is bullying or not. As we remember, they are, is it fair? Is it one-sided? Is someone using power? And how does it feel? Be as creative as you'd like. And then I would love for you to share your poster with those that you live with, or share it on social media, or share it with me. Okay, it just takes us spreading the word about what it is, how to recognize it, and how to stop it. When we meet again next time, we will be going through how to actually refuse bullying, so what to do next. Now that we know what it is, we see it, we know what's happening, what do we do next? So I really hope that you tune in for that lesson, and I hope that you all are well and safe, and that I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.